Hello and welcome to another Uniko video with me, Bev, the owner and designer of all things Uniko. I apologise for my funky voice. I am full of a sinus bug and not feeling my best, but I'm showing up today to share with you the first product of our June 2026 release. This is Background Blocks Thank You Scramble. So it's part of the Background Block series, but of also the little collection that I've started called Scramble. So the original one that came out last year, which was super popular for quick and easy Christmas cards, as the Merry Christmas Scramble. As you can see, it's a fun funky font. It's all one stamp, and yeah, this one was super popular and I loved using it. I loved designing it, so I had to come up with another design, and this birthday one came out in February this year for Uniko's birthday, and again, super popular. Absolutely love designing it. So I had to think of something else and I came up with the thank you version. So I was just looking to see. So this is the card that I've shared on the blog today. Super simple card. I used marker pens to colour each of the letters, and then I used Lawn Fawn glitter. I'll get the exact name, because I know some people have been asking for it. It's Lawn Fundamentals Prisma glitter, and I got this from Dies to Die For. I will share the link in the description. And I just use a quickie glue pen. Have I got one to hand? These can sometimes be a little bit like gold dust, but I did get mine off Amazon. And you can see it's got a blue colour, so when you colour it on, it does have a blue tint, but it dries clear. And it works wonderfully with this beautiful glitter. So that was the card I shared on the blog. Excuse me. I knew I would get a little cough. So off camera yesterday, when I had a little bit of energy, I knew what I wanted to do, so I did some stamping, so I wouldn't take up too much time in the video showing you how to do it. I just literally inked up the flower part, try not to get too much ink anywhere else, and stamped it 3 times and fussy cut the flowers out, because I'm going to make a card using the flowers and some markers. And then I've done this design before with the Christmas one, excuse me, where I stamped the block on this. This is old paper tray ink, designer paper. I've had it in my stash, and this is literally the bits I have left of all of the colours. It's like polka dot paper. You could easily use our background block Swiss dots to create a similar effect on coloured cardstock or coloured paper. So I stamped it on each of the colours, so I've got lots of letters now that I can cut out and create other cards. And then, because I wanted thanks instead of the whole word, because I'm going to create a different style card, I actually used the S from the Christmas stamp. So when you look at these 3 together, because the font is the same, there's probably other words that you can create from these 3, and I'd love to see if you do. Anyway, let's get to the card. So I'm going to move these flowers out of the way first. I'll come back to them second. So as I say, I stamped it all and I fussy cut them out. It took a little bit of time, but I have to say, it is worth it in the end. So it might be like a really clean and simple card, but it doesn't mean to say that it didn't take time. And you know I love my fussy cutting. So I've just put some temporary adhesive on the back of this card panel just to hold it in place. And some of these actually have a little bit of sticky on them from when I was holding my paper in place when stamping them. And all I am going to do is literally place them on here, and I'm going to use some foam tape to adhere them to the card base. I'm just going to keep it really, really simple because that polka dot paper is just delightful, and the colours. And sometimes when you want to say thanks to someone, you don't want to make a big, huge fuss about it, but you just want to show your appreciation. So I'm going to go ahead and find, my desk is absolute tip as usual, trying to find where I've put my foam tape. Usually I'm super organised, but hey ho, not today. So I'm going to start with the two end letters, and a little trick I've used before in the past, if you want to make sure that you've got your letters sort of fairly straight, is to hold a ruler. So I'm going to start with the T and the S. You could draw a pencil line if you wanted to, but I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to put the foam tape on, and then on the sort of bars of the T, just use a little, I often cut little strips of the foam tape. So this is my favourite go-to foam adhesive. It's 1mm thick, so it adds a little bit of dimension without adding too much bulk, which is really good for when you want to post your cards out, that you can still get them through as a letter rather than a large letter, because the postage is continuing to rise all the time. So how are you all enjoying the sunshine if you're here in the UK? So unfortunately I actually started antibiotics today to try and get rid of this bug, because I've been ill for a week now and it's driving me insane. And I can't go out in the sunshine because the antibiotics that they've given me interact with the sun and cause sunburn. So I'm not one for sitting out in the sunshine, but it's nice to see. And us British do like to moan about the heat, so I hope you're surviving. I'm doing all right considering I'm stuck indoors. But the cats are keeping me company because they're suffering a bit with the heat, but they're just napping. So Jelly's, I'm probably covered in fluff now because he's been sat on my seat this morning, and his fluff is just coming off him in droves. So I'm just putting the foam adhesive on and taking off these fiddly backs. So we're coming sort of towards the end of the school term now here. The boys have only got a few more weeks left at primary school before they go up to secondary school. I'm guessing you'd call it high school in America. They're ready for it. They're ready for a new challenge. They're busy at school this week. They're doing a play in a week. So they've chosen, well, the teachers chose Treasure Island. So they organise it all, do all the props, and then on Friday they will do the performance. So I'm looking forward to that. The end of school year performances are usually fun. So getting there slowly. Maybe I should have put the foam adhesive on the backs of these before I came on the video. But as I always say, you can always speed me up if it gets a little bit boring, and obviously I ramble on. It's been a while since I've done a video. I apologise for that. May was a really busy month for doing stamping retreats and workshops. I did a couple of Uniko only ones here in the northeast, at a new venue in Hartlepool, and then I did one with Dies to Die For over at Antrobus in the northwest, which was super fun. We've got another one coming up in August. I'm just waiting to find out which venue we're using. We were hoping to go back to the new venue we were at, but I'm just waiting to hear. So as soon as I hear, it'll go live on the website for booking. And then I did another collaboration workshop with my friend Ruth, who is my Stampin' Up demonstrator. Excuse me. And we had so much fun that we now have a Christmas mashup organised, or a Christmas mash workshop, and that is in Leeds, West Yorkshire, that is classed as. And I'm looking forward to that, and booking is open for that one on the website, as well as another Uniko workshop in July, 19th of July in Yarm. And that one's going to be a mix of what's been new this year so far, and you'll also get a sneaky preview and use of the Christmas in July products. So some new Christmassy products. One of them is super versatile though, that you could use it all year round just by switching up some of the colours that you use. So I always try to think about maximising product versatility when I design things. So yeah, I was busy in May with lots of workshops, and I've got lots more coming up. And then I had Craft Around Kent, and I had a special guest. If you saw my social media, my husband actually helped me out. If you were there, that was my husband on the till. The first time since starting doing shows, which I started back in 2015, he's actually ever come and helped me. Well, more like the first time I've ever managed to rope him into helping me. And he did well. He has no clue about any of my products, but he can work the till. And he's given me some suggestions of things I can do and things. So yeah, he was a good help. So we had that. And then I've come back from Kent, and then I've been full chocker with this horrible bug that I've managed to pick up, and my goodness, I haven't felt this poorly for a long time, which is amazing for me because I was always a sickly child, sickly person growing up, but I've managed to succumb to this one, and it's knocked me for six, but I'm getting there. At least crafting is chill, relaxing, it's not over strenuous, so I've managed. Okay, so this is the last letter, and I've spaced them out fairly well, but what I'm going to do now because it looks good, but it looks a little lost without anything. So what I thought I would do is I'm going to mask off and use the little so much sentiment at the bottom. So I want it sort of under the S and K. But I might leave a tiny, actually I'm going to line it up with the K. Because what I want to do, I might try, it might ruin the card, we'll see. We'll see how it turns out with the sentiment. So I'm using the Misty Light here. I'm working on the Tailored Expressions glass matte magnetic board. It's the big one. So when I'm working on this surface, this Misty Light comes in super handy. So I'm using this Eclipse paper. I got this from Stamp Addicts here in the UK. It's just literally like Post-it note tackiness. Really light tack on it. So I'm just masking off this section here so I can apply my ink just to the words so much. Hopefully I'm in view. And that way none of my ink will transfer onto what I've already put down. And I'm going to have to press a little bit harder. There we go. That's turned out pretty okay. Just wipe that off. Now I am going to actually just move this. Oh, I did that the other day. I should have just took the magnets off. I'm going to bring this piece of paper in actually. Where's my wheelie thing? So this is just temporary adhesive, Stick It by Stick It. Again, I get that off Amazon. I'm gonna mask off just so I can stamp the little flowers. So I'm gonna keep just checking it fits where I want it to go. Again, get out my little pieces of Eclipse paper. I've never actually Googled to see if you can get this Eclipse paper anywhere else. I'm sure you can. But it's eclipse as in like eclipse of the sun. Now I could have done these in a colour, but I'm going to stick with black as I've got a colourful letters. And that's come out well. I'll move my magnets this time instead of like pinging them everywhere. Just clean my stamp because then I don't want to waste card. I'm going to stamp the little flower at the bottom. And then I'm going to attempt to fussy cut these out. You know me, I love a little bit of fussy cutting. But I just really today I wanted to show you how, just because this stamp comes as a block, you don't have to keep it as a block. There's a lot more you can do with this style stamp than just stamp it in its block form. And it just takes a little bit of thinking outside the box sometimes, and a little bit of creativity, and sometimes just for someone else to show you that you can actually do it. So that's what I thought I'd do today. So I've stamped them, a couple of little flowers. Move that out the way. And then we're just going to literally cut these out. Normally I let this Versifying Clair Nocturne ink dry a little bit first. It is on the slower side of a drying ink. I actually do use this one for embossing, heat embossing, as it usually stays wet enough, long enough for you to put your embossing powder on. So I find it can smudge easy, and then when doing fiddly fussy cutting, obviously fingers get in the way. I could have masked and inked these straight on like I did with the sentiment at the bottom, but I didn't want to push my luck and risk it messing up. Hence why I'm fussy cutting them. But again, you know I love my fussy cutting. So almost done. These scissors are from Stampin' Up, and great news is because they had stopped doing the snips for a while, but they have obviously found a new manufacturer, and they have snips back available again. I don't know if it's this catalogue or the next catalogue, but that makes me happy because I use the Stampin' Up paper snips. I find them really sharp and really good for fussy cutting. So all I'm going to do is, for this one, is I am going to just adhere these flat to the card. So I have a bit of dimensions because I've cut it out, but not as big as dimension as if you put it on with Fawn tape. Normally I don't use a lot of wet glue, but with it being fiddly and little, I thought I'd use my glue gun today. So I'm just going to put this one down here like so, and I'm going to put this one up the top here for ease of use. I'm just using the wet glue for this. I'm going to leave it at that as well. I was debating whether to add embellishments, but I think I will leave it at just being embellished with these two little flowers like so, and that looks super cute. So that was the first card I wanted to show you, so I'll move that out of the way. And then my second card, as I said earlier, I stamped a trio of flowers from the block, excuse me, and fussy cut them out. And I thought, what I do, I'm going to add some colour, and I'm going to actually use a different sentiment. Shock horror. So I'm just going to adhere my piece of card to my workspace. I'm going to colour them. Actually, I'm going to move my card just in case it gets in the way. So I've chosen some Stampin' Blends. I've had these for quite a long time, but I find them easy to use. I'm just doing simple flat colouring. I'm not doing anything super fancy, just to add a little bit of colour to these flowers. So this one is Dark Flirty Flamingo. Some of them might still be current, some of them might not. As I say, I've had them a while. I do want to add to my collection, and I will over time. This one is Light Daffodil Delight. So they come in a pair, so you get a dark shade and a light shade. which is good for blending. As I say, I like the colours. I do, as you know, like my Concord and Ninth inks. I have got a fair decent range of Copic markers. So I always do try. I need to try these new, is it Olo markers? But I go through phases of wanting to colour and not wanting to colour. And then I've got Light Sweet Sorbet. So a bit of a darker shade. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to use one of my favourite sentiment sets, or series I should say. So these work very similar to Copic markers, that if you do go over the lines a little bit, you can use the clear one to dab up any ink that may have gone over the edge where you don't want it. This one's Light Granny Apple Green. I just have some favourite colours that I always reach for. And you'll see that this flower actually, the leaves and stem kind of go with the Flower Power series as well. So there's a bit, I always try and link to previous things for a bit of continuity. And obviously it represents my style, so matchy matchy. So this one is going to be a super simple card. Again, just because it's simple doesn't mean it took less time or less effort. And yeah, you might not like fussy cutting like I do. I am working on trying to get some SVG files done, so digital cutting files for some of my popular stamps. So if you have a digital cutter, you can cut or stamp and then cut. If you have a scan and cut, you can always use that. But yeah, so I'm working on getting some digital files until I go make that final leap over to China. So I'll put my bit of card back. So this piece of card that I'm securing to my workspace is 9.5 by 13.5 centimeters. My sort of go-to. So I'm going to use the thank you from Everyday Sentiments. I love this simple font. So I'm just going to roughly place my flowers like so. Excuse me. I do apologise for my coughing, as I should have been more organised and had my videos done earlier, but I am just not that organised sometimes. So the ideas sometimes don't come to me when I want them to, and think, oh, I should do this in preparation for, and then I can never like think of what to do. So that's why I try to be organised, but it doesn't always work like that. Life doesn't always work like that, does it? Well, yours might, but mine doesn't. So I'm going to use some black ink. Stamp the thank you. Move my magnets. And then just, I'm going to stick a little bit of foam tape on the flowers and the leaves. I probably won't bother with the stems because, like, the line, because it should be all right with just putting them on the leaves to secure it down. I have got better at using this little cat-shaped, it's from Newton's Nook, little, well, I think it's more of an embellishment tray, but I use it for putting in all my little foam adhesive square to keep my desk tight, because they used to end up everywhere. I used to be super messy. I mean, you can't see a lot of the mess that's on my desk. But yeah, they just used to end up everywhere. So I'm just eyeballing this. You could be a little bit more precise if you wanted to. But it just gives you another option and way to use like this image that's part of the block. Get your money's worth out of a product. As I said, I can't remember. So this stamp is available on Saturday, the 27th of June at 9 AM BST on the Uniko website. So don't go rushing there just yet because it's not there yet. And we've got a few other introductions this week. It's just a small release again, just 4 products, but they all pack a punch. There's a lot that you can do with each of the products, and the pairing options with what you might already have in your stash or other Uniko products. I think you'd have a lot of fun with them. Obviously, the people that have come to workshops in May have had the chance to play with these and use them, and the feedback from them was really positive, so I'm pleased with that. So that is a little bonus of coming to Uniko workshops. You do get to try stuff before it actually gets released. I always try and have something new, especially for those customers that have been part of Uniko since the beginning. So yeah, I always try and bring something new out to use at them, and then I dust off some older stuff as well, because it's all about the new, and we forget that we have all this other stash that we bought and loved when we bought it, and then we forget to use it. So I always try and mix a bit of new and old at the workshops. Obviously, I realise that some of you just live too far away, America, Canada, Australia and such, and I would love to come to all those locations and do workshops, but at the minute it's just not feasible. But we are doing more. I'm hoping to do more around the UK. We have a date organised for a workshop in Farnborough in October. And we're trying to get other locations where we do papercraft shows as well, so we are working on it. It's when you don't know the area, it's finding somewhere that's suitable for everything we need. And there is my second card idea. So super simple. I could add some embellishments, but I'm not going to today. That was the first card, and then my original sparkly glittery card. So as I say, this will be available on Saturday at 9 a.m. Thank you for joining me today. You will see more of this product in use over the week as I introduce the other products that are available on Saturday. Thank you for joining me. I apologise for my coughing and snottiness, but I do appreciate you following, liking, subscribing, and telling all your friends about Uniko, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now.